Hi, this is Alice, Bejeweled Hedgehog, and this is my video response to Ask Miss Chris. Hi, and her contest, her giveaway, where she wanted us to talk about charities. And this is another one of my funny responses where I think it's a cool idea and I am loving making the video about charities, but I actually do not want an entry. And the reason is that I really am a yarnaholic, and if I get a gift card, I will go to the craft store and I will have more yarn. And my goal for this year is simply to use up what I've already got, buying a piece here or there as the need comes up to finish a project or to do something special. So I am bowing out of the contest, but I love to talk about charities. So here we go. I'll try and keep this quick and dirty. I'm going to talk about two different charities that I do. One is a tremendously fun charity, and I think that is good. I do not think that charity has to be something that makes you miserable. You take whatever talents and skills and abilities you have, and you share it with other people. And that being said, I love to crochet stuff. I love to crochet hats. They are a lot of fun. They can be very creative, and they can be done in a very short period of time. So it's good for me, and because I donate the majority of them, since I make far more than I can wear and that I can give to people I know, I'm assuming that it's good for a lot of other people. I do a lot of it over the winter. Our apartment complex management office was collecting this year hat, scarf, and glove sets to give to various charities. So that is, my example of a charity where you enjoy the creating and the giving as much as, if not more, than the recipient enjoys getting the item. Now, there is one section of crocheting that I do that is, it's a painful subject. I do baby bereavement blankets. Now, I also do little preemie hats and newborn hats, and donate those to local hospitals. But the other thing that I do, because I think it's so incredibly important, are the bereavement blankets. And I got the idea from Dale Kwan, and you can either contact her and go through whatever charity group she was going through. She's here on YouTube. Or what I do is, contact local hospitals and, see who wants them, see who is collecting them. And if you do that, that way you know that you're serving the area that you're in. A bereavement blanket is basically a blanket that is given to a baby who is stillborn, or dies shortly after birth. And they take the baby and they wrap it in the beautiful little Afghan little blanket and present it to the parents so that they have a chance to hold it. And it is heartrending when you think about it, but it's actually even more heartrending to picture it just being in one of those little flannel hospital blankets. At least they have an image, the parents have an image in their mind of their baby in something beautiful and handmade and loving. I had a co-worker who was fairly well along in her pregnancy. She was maybe 8 months along, and she had a stillborn baby. And it was an experience that was just awful beyond belief, because I don't think most people really think it through. I never really thought it through until it happened to her. But you have a full-blown, a normal labor. You have a labor knowing the whole time that your baby is dead. So all the pain and all the awfulness, and then at the end, you do not have a child. So anything you can do to make those parents more comfortable and ease things just a little bit. See, a lot of the times if it happens early, enough in the pregnancy. They're not necessarily prepared. They haven't gotten the clothes. There's nothing special, or if they do have clothes, they won't fit. So a pretty blanket to wrap around the baby is just such a blessing. And one interesting thing is, how do I say this? Because the baby is not alive and doesn't have the same, you don't have the same worries or concerns of comfort that you would to a living baby. I'll show you a blanket I'm working on now. You can get a little more creative. I like lacy patterns, and I would never give a blanket like this as a baby blanket as a gift, because, you could put it, over top of other blankets. Like if the baby was already all wrapped up and in the car seat, you could throw this over top of it in the winter to keep it a little warmer, but not really. These lacy holes would be dreadful for little fingers and toes to get stuck in. But it's gorgeous. It's stunningly beautiful. It's this beautiful pale shade of green, and it will look absolutely lovely. And so one of the little cheats that I do, because sometimes this makes me feel a little sad to do this, one of my little cheats is that I get to make them more beautiful than I would if I had to take in the comfort and safety concerns of a traditional baby blanket. So the requirements tend to be that they be pastel baby colors as opposed to the very bright and vivid baby colors. And some people have christenings or baptisms done, and they like white blankets. So, and they can be smaller. You can go on the internet and look, and when you talk to people in your area, what I will do is I will put a link that I found to a group. I can't remember the name, but a group that I found on the internet. I'll put down below. I think they serve hospitals in Oregon. So if you're not in Oregon, the best thing to do would be to call local hospitals, even local churches or synagogues or mosques, whatever your affiliation is, and find out who's taking them, because they're welcomed wherever you go. Then the other charity is one I really only started doing about 3 years ago, because I am a big chicken. And it's every bit as critical. Now, this does not fall under the category of it's as much fun for me as it is for the recipient, because I don't think fun enters into this equation for either end. I donate blood. There's a regularly scheduled bloodmobile that comes on Saturdays. Not every Saturday, but it comes at intervals to my apartment complex. And you sign up, in the management office, and you're given a time slot. You just go downstairs and go over to the management office, and they set you up, and then you go out to the bloodmobile and you give blood. And I do not like needles. I just don't like them. But you know what? The build-up, and it's always this way, whether it is getting a shot or having blood work done in a doctor's office, I get myself worked up into such a frenzy that I expect to pass out from pain and be crippled for the next week and blah, 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 blah. And sometimes I am so worked up and worrying about it, that I feel some slight pinch, like, oh, maybe she's putting the alcohol on my arm or whatever. And then I hear, the nurse say, you're done. And I'm like, okay. So seriously, something to think about, even if you do not particularly like medical procedures, or needles, it is not painful at all. You fill out a short form just to make sure that you're eligible. So, they don't take your blood unless you meet the criteria on this form. Then they will do another quick test before they take your blood to make sure you're not anemic. So there's no health risk. They screen you in advance. And, they make you sit for 10 minutes after you're done, and they give you juice or little sugary snacks, in case you have a reaction. I quit drinking the juice and little sugary snacks because I have never had a reaction. I don't feel faint or weak or dizzy or tired. I sit there and, I have a little apple juice. Apple juice is kind of good, actually. So it's my treat. It's how I reward myself. So I have the little bottle of apple juice, sit back and relax. Normally I take a paperback book to read during the procedure. You could take, an iPod, whatever you want. Just be aware that what they do is, you sit back on very comfortable, like recliner couches, and it's extremely comfortable, and you put out one arm, your right arm or your left arm, depending on what side of the bloodmobile they put you on, and then they draw the blood, and you do feel a prick or a pinch, but it's nothing like you're going to, like the lead up, imagining and nightmarish fears. No, it's just like a prick, and that's it. And the only drawback is you can't use that arm because it has the needle in it. So whatever you're doing, don't take your crocheting, don't take your knitting. You can't do it because you don't have two hands. But a book, a Kindle, an iPod, a cell phone, and yak with people. And I am surprised because they say that they will mail you a little card as soon as your blood is used. And, I always sort of thought it would sit in some freezer somewhere for, an eternity. But usually within a couple of weeks, I get my card back saying, your blood has been given to a recipient and blah, blah, blah. They don't tell you who, they just tell you it's been used. And I'm always very pleased. It's like, wow, that was fast. I guess they needed it. So there's a big need for it, and it is really not scary, really not hard. And, I hope I've convinced at least one person to give it a shot, because I am the world's biggest chicken. If I get a paper cut, I will close my eyes, stick my hand out to whoever I'm near and say, "Oh, what is it? Is my finger still attached?" Okay, so if I can, you can. Anyhow, this has been a very fun video to make, and I'm hoping to see other people's responses. So, bye.